A very good morning to all. Dear student, hope all of you are well by the grace of God. Okay, after a few days of gap, now welcome back to the biology class. Today in this class we'll learn about the chapter 10, that is respiration. So we can continue this chapter because half already explained in the previous class, so half we'll start today. That means we will continue from before. Okay, so today in this chapter we'll learn about the mechanism of breathing. So before starting our class, please be ready with your book. Mechanism of breathing. Air enters and leaves the lungs through the process of inhalation and exhalation respectively. Inhalation. The process of breathing in air is called inhalation. Means whatever the air are there present in the atmosphere, we used to inhale, we used to take inside our body is called as the inhalation. During inhalation, the muscle present between the ribs contract and moves the rib upwards and outwards. The diaphragm contracts and becomes flat. The breastbone moves outwards. As a result, the volume of the chest cavity increases. This lowers the pressure in the lungs and the air from outside the body flows into the lungs. So what will happen during inhalations? The muscles which are present in the ribs will be contract and moves the rib upward and outwards. Upwards means outside of the body. The diaphragm contracts and become flat. Diaphragms, the one layer which are present just below the rib cage will be contract and become a flat. The breastbone moves outwards. The bones which are present in our chest will be move outwards. As a result, the volume of the chest cavity increases, and because of this, the chest cavity will be increases. This lowers the pressure in the lungs and the air from outside the body flows into the lungs. Exhalation. The process of breathing out air is called exhalation. During exhalations, the muscles between the rib relax and the ribs and the breastbone return to their original position. The diaphragm also relax and become dome shape. As a result, the volume of the chest cavity decreases. This increases the pressure inside the lungs and force the air out of the lungs. In the exhalation, what will happen? The air which are already entered in our body or in lungs, it will be come out from our lungs. So that is called the exhalation. Exchange of gases in the alveoli. There is more oxygen in the air in the alveoli than in the blood flowing through the capillaries. So, the oxygen moves from the air into the blood. The process by which a substance moves from an area of higher concentration to an area of lower concentration is called diffusion. So, what is a diffusion? It's the process where any substance can move from the area of higher concentration to an area of lower concentration is called diffusion. Suppose in the atmosphere more amounts of oxygens are there, and in our body a percentage of oxygens are very less, then we can take the oxygen from the outside though. So that process is called the diffusion. Hemoglobin in the blood combines with oxygen to form oxyhemoglobin. Hemoglobin is a red color pigment which are present in our red blood cell. It can combine with the oxygen and it's form a oxyhemoglobin. The blood carrying oxygen reach the heart through blood vessels. The heart pumps it to all the tissues in the body. Carbon dioxide, the product of cellular respiration, is carried to the alveoli by the blood. It diffuses from the blood to the air in the alveoli. The carbon dioxide rich air is sent out of the body when the air is exhaled. So, when this process will be, when we'll take the oxygen in and our other metabolism process are going on inside our body, then in our body the carbon dioxide is formed and it's mixed up with the air which we already inhaled. So carbon dioxide is not good for our health, so our body used to throw out the carbon dioxide, okay, with mix with the air, and they will they exhale it from our body, okay. External respiration in other organisms. The respiratory system is responsible for the exchange of gases. Different organisms carry out the exchange of gases in different ways depending on their size and environment. In higher plants and animals, there are special organs that provide a surface for the exchange of gases to take place. Single-celled organisms like the amoeba and paramecium exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide directly with their environment through their cell membranes through the process of diffusion. In the Hydra, the exchange of gases take place by diffusion through the outer surface of the body. Earthworms exchange gases by diffusions through their soft, moist skin. They have a system of capillaries just beneath the skin, just under the skin. Aquatic animals such as fish use gills to breathe. As water flows over the gills, the exchange of gases occurs through the large number of capillaries present there. Some animals such as amphibians use more than one organ for breathing. Frogs, for example, breathe through gills while they are tadpoles. Adult frogs breathe mainly with lungs and also exchange gases with the environment through their moist skin. Insects such as grasshopper and cockroach have a network of tiny air tubes called tracheae for breathing. They open out to the surface of the body through small pores called spiracles. The movement of the abdomen and wings is sufficient to pump air in and out of the tracheae. In higher animals such as human beings and other mammals, reptiles, birds, and most adult amphibians, respiration is carried out with the help of lungs. Types of cellular respiration. Cellular respirations are of two types. One is the aerobic respiration and another one is the anaerobic respiration. We have learned that organisms break down glucose in their cell to release energy, a process called cellular respiration. This process may take place either with or without oxygen present. So, all the organisms, they used to break down the glucose in their cell to release the energy, and that process is called as the cellular respirations. This process may take place either in the presence of oxygen or absence of oxygen. The process by which organisms respire in the presence of oxygen is called aerobic respiration. So aerobic respiration is the process in which the organism will respire in the presence of oxygen. This reaction releases a large amount of energy. It can be written as follows: glucose C6H12O6 plus C6O2 oxygen. It's case 6CO2 carbon dioxide plus 6H2O water plus energy. Anaerobic respiration. Some organisms can release energy from glucose even in the absence of oxygen. The process by which organisms respire in the absence of oxygen is called anaerobic respiration. This reaction releases very little energy. Anaerobic respiration produces less energy than aerobic respiration because glucose is not completely oxidized to produce carbon dioxide and water. Thus, all the energy present in each glucose molecule is not released. For example, yeast cells convert glucose into carbon dioxide and ethanol with the release of energy without using oxygen. glucose, ethanol plus carbon dioxide plus energy. Some lower animals and plants can respire anaerobically for a long period of time. But eventually, they also need oxygen. Humans respire aerobically. An average human can survive without oxygen only for around 3 minutes. Sometimes, during vigorous exercise, our heart and lungs cannot supply sufficient oxygen to our muscles quickly enough. Our muscles begin to respire anaerobically. Here, glucose is broken down to lactic acid without oxygen. Glucose, lactic acid plus energy. Although we get energy, the lactic acid that is formed can slowly affect our muscles. We breathe faster and deeper after exercise to get rid of the lactic acid in our muscles. The extra oxygen that we breathe in helps in breaking down the lactic acid. Certain bacteria and organisms like yeast respire anaerobically all their lives. They can live permanently in place where there is no oxygen. In fact, oxygen is actually poisonous for some bacteria. Respiration in plants. Plants also respire to get energy to carry out their life functions. They take in oxygen from the air and give out carbon dioxide. However, they do not have lungs, so the mechanism of external respiration is different from that seen in humans. The cells in all the parts of the plants respire: leaves, stem, roots, and even flowers. The parts above the soil get their oxygen directly from the air through tiny opening in the leaves called stomata, and also through pores in stem or branches called lenticels. Lenticels do not open and close like stomata. They are important for respiration at night when the stomata are closed. The opening and closing of stomata is controlled by guard cell. So here is the structure of a stomata. This is stomata, and these two are the guard cell which help them to open and close. The main respiratory organs of a plant is the leaf. During the day, in the presence of sunlight, both photosynthesis and respiration take place. At night, photosynthesis does not take place, but respiration does. During the day, the stomata remain open for photosynthesis. The plant absorbs carbon dioxide through the stomata and gives out oxygen. Some of the oxygen produced during photosynthesis is used for respiration. The surplus oxygen diffuses out of the leaf through the stomata. At night, photosynthesis does not take place and the stomata are closed. However, the plant cells still need oxygen for respiration. Oxygen diffuses in mainly through the lenticels, which always remain open. The carbon dioxide and water vapor produced are also given out mainly through the lenticels. The roots of a plant also need oxygen, which they obtain from the air spaces in the soil. If we water a plant in a pot too frequently, we might kill the roots by drawing them. Some plants that live in water have stomata on the upper surface. Other plants that live in water breathe through their body surface. Their stems have air spaces. So student, that's all for today's class. In the next class, we will do the question answers of this chapter. So before finishing, here are some home assignment questions for you. Write down the answer and send me in WhatsApp group. These questions are given from your book. This is page number 114, 114 and 115. Okay. First one, choose the correct options. All the correct options you have to write down in full sentence, and number fill in the blanks. So write down and send me in WhatsApp group. Thank you and have a nice day.